Jesus is saying, I'm going to have a people in my kingdom that will not be committing murder. But they're not going to be committing murder because of some kind of legalistic obligation to a law. They're going to not be committing murder because I'm going to change them on the inside. They're going to look at other people and they're not going to be angry. They're not going to want to hurt. And so Jesus is saying our righteousness must exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees. What he's really saying is, my kingdom comes to change you from the inside out. Now, in addition to that, he concludes this sermon with words from Matthew chapter 7, and I'd like to read them to you. Anyone who listens to my teaching, so this is the conclusion of everything that he said. Anyone who listens to my teaching and follows it is wise, like a person who builds a house on a solid rock. Though the rain comes in, and the torrents and the floodwaters rise, and the winds beat against that house, it won't collapse because it is built on the rock. But anyone who hears my teaching and doesn't obey it is foolish, like a person who builds a house on the sand. When the rain and the floods come and the winds beat against the house, it will collapse with a mighty crash. Jesus tells this very, very clear story of two people that build two houses. And one person is a wise person, and the other person is a foolish person. Now we look at that and we say, well, I wonder what kind of house they were building. Maybe the person who built his house on the sand, maybe his house was more elaborate. Maybe it was a larger house. Maybe it was a more expensive house. Maybe the house that was built on the rock by the wise man was a very, very simple house.